we talked a lot about right tackle, Colton McKivitz, Mike McGlinchey. How you feeling about that right now? And allowing McGlinchey to go. I was not paying him $50 million. I think most Niner fans were not paying him $50 million. Has McKivitz been better than you thought? Is he an upgrade over McGlinchey? Is it too early to tell? What are your thoughts there?
I feel like he's been better than McGlinchey because we haven't talked about him in a lot.
Week 1,
it's T.J. Watt.
Got beat like a drum.
Yeah, it's T.J. Watt. He's beating everybody like a drum.
I agree. I think he's been pretty good.
I think he's been all right.
Yeah, I think he's been pretty good.
Mike McGlinchey in Denver, what are they doing? How many times is Russell Wilson getting hit in Denver? Mike McGlinchey, did you watch the Thursday night game against the Chiefs?
You know where I stand on this.
Mike McGlinchey was awful in that football game.
When Sean Payton signed him, I told you, this is one of the worst moves of the offseason.
Well, a Chicago radio station hit me up because they were in on Mike McGlinchey. And I told them, I said, look, Bear fans, and I was on in Chicago, I said, I would not give this guy $50 million. All right? I was like, remember the sack from Dominic? Who's the guy? Dominic something. He was a rookie. I was like, remember how we beat up Mike McGlinchey and sacked Trey Lance after we recovered, or Hufanga got the interception? And they were like, yeah, that was the guy's only sack all season. And I said, there you go. Why would you want Mike McGlinchey?
That was that guy's.
That was his only sack that year. How crazy is that? So McKivitz has been fine.
Burford scares me. You're never going to be strong all across the board in the modern day, but he has not been great this year.
Well, you look at
not that he's the worst player in the league. He just hasn't been great.
Well, where's Danielle Hunter going to line up?
That's a good question.
Where's he going to line up with this Minnesota Vikings team?
I thought Myles Garrett did a good job attacking both sides.
Yeah, he attacked both sides. I mean, the offensive line as a whole was awful last week.
And Trent's ankle better be right.
And if it's not right, now you got Jalen Moore, who Trent said it very kindly. We wanted to protect Jalen. I didn't want to put him in that position. Well, Trent didn't want to put Jalen Moore in that position. He also didn't want to see his quarterback get killed because of Jalen Moore. Because Jalen Moore is almost a turnstile. He's not far off from Jonathan Martin right now in his career. He's just not good. Just not a good player. All right? Maybe he gets better. Maybe. But right now, it's just, without Trent Williams, man, this offensive line takes a massive dip. And so when you got Hunter coming off the edge, and he's going to be wearing that number 99, and he's another guy who may be on the move.
I would love him.
He's on a 1-year deal. He's another guy who may be on the move.
Can't have enough pass rushers. Secondary is something, obviously, the Niners would like to shore up. I just don't know. Who's trading good secondary players right now?
Nobody right now.
I mean, it feels like that is a position, if you just look at the big trades that have happened, usually you're giving up multiple firsts for an elite type of a player.
Well, you got Byron Murphy Jr. on the other side playing. Remember him from Arizona, number 7. He's a good player.
Stanford player.
Will he be on the move? Like, that guy may shadow, especially if Debo doesn't play, he'll probably shadow Brendan Ayuk and follow him around everywhere.
He's that guy in Madden that always picks me off.
Yeah, he picks me off all the time. Byron Murphy Jr., he may follow Ayuk, and then you got Harrison Smith over the top, a damn good safety. And that's the one thing. If Purdy's behind in this football game, Harrison Smith can get his hands on the football.
Yep.
So watch out for the blitz against Minnesota. What weapons will play? I'm not going to focus too much on the offense right now because I don't know who's playing. I'm looking at the defense.
Is Greenlaw going to play?
Is Greenlaw going to play? Is this defensive line going to get after Kirk Cousins? Does Wilkes have to call more blitzes?
How's the sophomore season for Hufanga going? Second or third season?
I think it's fine.
Sophomore starting season.
I think it's fine. Now, he got cooked on by Amari Cooper on the sideline. He got juked out of his shoes. Oh, Hufanga's been fine.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's been no drop off. You?
No. I think he's been good. I do think I worry about their cornerbacks just getting bodied by these big receivers. That might not be necessarily something this week, but moving forward, like that Cincinnati game, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Boyd.
Well, let's get through Minnesota first.
I know.
Before I have a headache. Let's go to Lucky in San Francisco. Lucky, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, what's up, Bonte? What's up, Jeff?
What's up, Lucky?
Doing this morning?
What's up, Lucky?
I want to talk about the team in general and the concerns that I have. It's not too many. The only concern that I have as far as is defensive back play, I've seen too many times, and it reminds me of last year where Charvarius Ward is a good cornerback, but he doesn't look back for the ball like Jimmy Ward did. Like, come on, man. Like, you're detailed to it. You have to be more detailed in your assignment. Now, you can't just follow the receiver down and not look back when you see the ball coming on, when you see the guy head turn, man. That's number one in defensive back plays. I played that position, so you have to look back for the ball. So that's my only concern. Rest Trent, rest Christian, and I even say rest Debo. We need those guys for the long haul, not for an appetizer. We need them for the main course, man. So we're all pushing for the Super Bowl, right?
No.
So that's where our concern needs to be. Give these guys a rest, and if we can, in the trade market, go get 2 more cornerbacks.
Yeah, if they're available, and thanks for the call, Lucky. I'm with you. John Lynch, all 3 phones he has. He probably got 4 phones. Who knows? If you're a millionaire like that, I wouldn't have 1 phone. Probably need 2 or 3. A lot of numbers to remember, but my phone, I would not put it down if I'm John Lynch. Because the Niners are not in the NFC West. They're in the Super Bowl division. There's the NFC North, NFC East, NFC South, NFC West, and then there's the Super Bowl division. And the Super Bowl division has Kansas City, Jacksonville, Buffalo, Miami, Philadelphia, Detroit, and the Niners. There's 7 teams in this division right now.
You got me thinking. 2 phones, 3 phones. Don't you think he's got an assistant that's following him around all over that holds the phone for him?
Probably.
And just hands it to him when he needs it?
Probably.
Because that's what I would have. Like, instead of having the extra phones and stuff and carting those around, I'll just pay.
Well, what about this?
Some sort of internship type deal.
Millionaire, I wouldn't even have a phone. Just have somebody hold the phone for you.
Well, and like,
hey, your wife's calling. All right, give me that.
Well, like in the mafia, they don't talk on the phone.
They don't, especially on landlines.
You're not allowed to talk directly to Tony at Satriani's.
Exactly.
You got to meet him somewhere else.
Exactly. And you got to use code names and code words.
Right. I mean, you don't want to meet.
No doubt. You don't.
What's Jackie April's brother who came out of prison and wanted to meet him in Satriani? He's like, hey, I'll meet you at the mall and we'll talk in public. Richie April.
Manson lamps.
Roasters, by the way, you can get up a few shots at Chase Center. How? By listening to 95.7 The Game. We're going to qualify you for our first ever 95.7 The Game knockout tournament at Chase Center. Tune in the week of October 30th. That's when the Niners are on a bye. And then the following week of November 6th. And make sure you're listening to each show to learn how you can qualify each show during that 2-week stretch. We'll be picking one winner each show. Make sure you're locked in. You're always locked in, but make sure you are locked into 95.7 The Game during those weeks, and you could have a chance to launch shots from the very same spot that Steph Curry does at Chase Center. First ever 95.7 The Game knockout tournament at Chase Center. That's coming up. You want to be listening.
It's always funny when people tell us what's not going to happen, and why are we talking about this, and why are we talking about that. Sports is the ultimate wild card. Crazy stuff happens all the time. You and I were talking about the Miami Dolphin game with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right.
When you and Hav were arguing.
Yeah.
And you said you sent out a tweet, which was later modified, officially signaling the end of the Jimmy Garoppolo era.
Right.
And Jimmy would go on to play a whole nother year. And then I'm looking at a tweet from 6:38 p.m. on January 30th, 2022, right after the Rams-Niners NFC Championship game. And it says, and that's how the Jimmy Garoppolo era ends. It hurts. Oh, it hurts. From Bonte Hill's X/Twitter account.
Where are we going?
And then Jimmy would go on to have another 6 or 7 games in a 49er uniform. What I'm saying is like whenever we bring up hypotheticals or things that could or should or might happen or may play out, we're not saying it's exactly how it's going to play. But haven't we watched sports long enough to know nothing is ever written in stone?
No, and that's where, and listen,